It's December 23rd. JLD here, and welcome to MSTR Today in the Treasury Titans. Michael Saylor has a message for us today, which is ignore the bears. It's just time to ignore the bears. They're going to be out there. They think they've won. Only time will tell, but I think we all know what's happening in 2026, and it's going to be a great year. Nothing in this video is financial advice, but let's keep on cranking because Strategy has increased its USD reserve by 748 million and now holds 2.19 billion and 671,000 Bitcoin still. Absolutely incredible move by Saylor and Strategy. If you guys follow me on X, you saw that I posted an apology post because guess what? I was wrong. And I wanted to hold my hand up and say, I thought Saylor was going to buy more Bitcoin only. And he did the exact opposite. He just increased the USD fiat stack. That's all he did. You know what? I love the move. I would have loved him buying $1 billion of Bitcoin. I love increasing the USD fiat stack. I know he has to do it at some point to get it up to that close to 3-year mark. Right now, he's at about 32 months. I think 36 is going to be the eventual goal. I mean, who knows what Saylor and Strategy are thinking about, but that's what it kind of feels like. So right now they're at 2.19 billion because at the end of the day, Saylor and the Strategy team, they know they want to increase the rating. They want to go from a B- to a B, to a double B, to a triple B, to a whatever it ends up needing to go to become investment grade. That's going to be the great unlock. And one of the things the S&P rating agency did mention was that they want to see that Strategy is able to not only stabilize, but increase its USD reserve even during times of challenging Bitcoin price action. So this is exactly what Saylor is doing. And in 6 to 12 months, I expect we're going to be able to go back to the table and say, hey, we've done everything you wanted us to do to increase the rating. Let's increase this rating. And as you can see, it all came from the MSTR common stock. And this is posted from Adrian here. So happy holidays, happy Monday, and good morning, everyone. Double A says, Saylor sits with sovereign wealth funds, presidents, princes, billionaires, and bank CEOs, buys $2 billion worth of Bitcoin in 2 weeks, and people call him a scammer. Meanwhile, some anonymous guy with a cartoon avatar, a Christmas discount trading view subscription, 6 rainbow indicators, and 200 followers posts a bearish chart, and suddenly he's the real expert. Wake the F up, people. Jeff says, can we talk about how crazy 748 million in a week is? That's equivalent to every single human in America giving MSTR $2.26. A stack of $1 bills a mile high. Every single human on the planet giving MSTR 9.3 cents. More capital than MSTR raised in the first 11 months of 2023. The market cap of the 2,100th largest public U.S. public company, 748 $1 million homes, 74 $10 million homes, 30 $25 million homes, 11 months of dividend interest payments on $16 billion of OS debt, preferred obligations, the 49th largest reinsurance entity on the planet. They raised that last week. This isn't all time. This is last week. The scale of this capital raising is quite literally off the charts. Never before seen this financial strength. And Chris says, based on his actions throughout the year, no one is likely more surprised by the MSR price action in 2025 than Saylor himself. We've gone from Saylor declaring no common stock shares will be issued below 2.5 MNAV to Saylor issuing $3 billion in shares at a 1.15 MNAV to fund a USD reserve. Part of me sees many of the moves as erratic and price being paid for the sense of entitlement and taking the market for granted. The other part of me acknowledges that we're in the very genesis of an entirely new industry, one with no established playbook where everyone is being forced to learn in real time. Both may be true. I did respond. I said, both may be true, but I believe the latter is more of the case. Saylor is literally financially engineering a completely new paradigm in real time. And yes, I know that's not how you spell Saylor, but I was doing talk text because I was on a walk when I was responding to this post. Jeff says, now enough cash reserves to completely pay off the September 2027 convert put date. Should it not convert to $183 per share? And 15 additional months of dividend reserve for the prefs, a big USD battery. Let's go. Chris wants us to know this is mega bullish. The fact that Strategy did increase its USD reserve by $748 million. I totally agree. But at the end of the day, 2026 is going to be our year because for those of you, and I was here, I've been here since 2018, but 2024 was a lot like this. And then 2025 felt exactly like this. 2026, please. I'll sign up for that. Strategy increased their USD reserve to 2.19 million, which means that their dividend coverage is now 31.9 months, well over 2 years. This is incredibly bullish for Strategy's preferred shares and will shut up the fudsters. I've got to disagree with Ragnar. I love Ragnar. I'm a big fan of pretty much everything that he posts, but I hope he really truly understands that nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing, will ever shut up the fudsters, no matter what. It's just a reality, and a reality that we have to just understand and accept and just have empathy for them. It's okay to be a bear on Strategy if you wish, but any doomsday theories just need to start a few years in the future now. And this has been talking about how Strategies just built up such a cash stack reserve that is absolutely insane. Mark Harvey says, MSTR's 2.19 billion cash reserve has come at a slight hit to Bitcoin per share. However, the cash reserve helps the company, one, better weather sustained Bitcoin drawdown, two, alleviate pressure from convertible bonds, and three, improve creditworthiness in the eyes of S&P Global. Short-term pain for long-term gain. So at the end of the day, yeah, listen, this is what Saylor is doing to create the team, to create the engine, and to create the future that he knows Strategy wants and needs. And Chris wants us to know that the stars are aligning for MSTR to have a phenomenal year in 2026. And I am all on board for that, and I believe it as well. So let's sit back, relax, and let Michael Saylor share some genius with us right now.
It's been quite a ride this year. New all-time highs. Now, I mean, when we interviewed you last year around this time, about a year ago, Bitcoin had just crossed 100K for the first time. Today it's trading at 87K. Why did Bitcoin underperform this year?
It's the world's greatest free market in capital, and 85% of the Bitcoin, notwithstanding all of the corporations that have been acquiring it that people talk about, BlackRock and Strategy get all the publicity, but 85% of the Bitcoin is held in crypto OG hands. We can't even identify them. And I talk to the traders, they say that, the derivatives market, the perpetual market drives this much more than spot, which means the $1.7 trillion worth of capital that can be 20x or 30x levered is held by people that we don't know. And so I think that that in the near term, their moods and their drivers drive this market. And I guess that's the beauty of free market capitalism. But I think that the more important point is the last 12 months have been probably the best 12 months in the history of the industry in terms of fundamentals. And it's profound what's happened since December.
What would you put at the top of the list there? I mean, I know we've had changes in regulatory environment, different types of institutional adoption. What stands out to you the most?
Well, let's tick off the highlights of the last 12 months. You have a universally supportive administration, a supportive head of the SEC, supportive head of the CFTC, supportive head of the Treasury, supportive president, supportive vice president. You have David Sachs, go out publicly and say, Bitcoin is a digital commodity, it's digital gold, it's an asset without an issuer. We recognize its special nature in the world, as a technology to propagate property rights and freedom. That happened in March of this year, right? People forget how that developed. We saw the spot Bitcoin ETFs get uncrippled. We had in-kind creates and redemptions. People can now swap their Bitcoin for IBIT type shares and borrow against them and then swap back. That was a big deal. We saw the onshore derivatives market for IBIT get uncrippled. It went from nothing to 10 billion. And then when they actually took the cuffs off, it went to 50 billion. That's a big deal. We saw guidance from the CFTC just last week. You can now trade spot crypto assets like Bitcoin on regulated commodities exchanges in the US. You'll see them start trading on the CME. We saw guidance that you could start to use Bitcoin as collateral, right? Crypto assets collateral against those derivatives contracts and trading contracts. That's a big deal.
Michael Saylor just made an $835 million bet buying the Bitcoin dip. Right now, Bitcoin's fallen almost 40% off its October high, and the big money is buying the dip. What's your strategy? Now might be a great time to convert your IRA or 401k to Bitcoin with the help of Bit IRA. Plus, you can fund it with pre-tax funds, then continue to invest it over time as you do any other retirement accounts. Bit IRA protects your assets with end-to-end insurance, highly secure storage, multi-encryption, and registered with the US government. Your IRA is fully IRS compliant. Best of all, you can trade crypto within your retirement account without incurring taxes on any buys or sells. Just go to bitira.com/JLD and request a free info guide. Once you do that and open your IRA, you'll get a free ledger. Bitcoin has proven time and time again to rebound, every cycle going from a higher low to a higher high. With Strategy's latest purchase, Michael Saylor clearly believes Bitcoin is at a discount. Time for you to get in too. Go to bitira.com/JLD to open a tax-sheltered IRA in Bitcoin. When you're ready to build your complete business identity, you want to do it fast and right. With Northwest Registered Agent, you can build your business identity in just 10 clicks in 10 minutes. When you want more, start your business with Northwest. Everything you need to launch and protect your business all in one place. Your business identity isn't just your logo or website, it's everything that represents you. From what customers see to what they don't, legal filings, state licenses, secure domains, and compliance tools. Northwest gives you more privacy, more tools, and more guidance so you can focus on growing your dream. For nearly 30 years, Northwest has helped entrepreneurs like us build confidently. You can form your business for just $39 plus state fees, backed by real corporate guides, people who know your state's laws and have your back every step of the way. Don't wait. Protect your privacy, build your brand, and get your complete business identity in just 10 clicks in 10 minutes. Visit www.northwestregisteredagent.com/paidJLD and start building something amazing. Get more with Northwest Registered Agent at www.northwestregisteredagent.com/paidJLD.
We just saw guidance from the SEC that it's possible for the DTC to tokenize their entire security portfolio. We're talking all the securities in the world moving on the DTC. And the fact that that guidance came from the SEC was a big deal. But the fact that the CEO of the DTC got on X and put out a video saying they're enthusiastic about that was a big deal. We saw favorable guidance come out of the IRS and Treasury that made the entire issue of unrealized capital gains tax on crypto assets go away. That's a big deal. We also saw the creation of the digital credit market. My company, started issuing digital credit instruments, and we did an IPO. I guess it's like late January, early February. Then we did a second, a third, a fourth, and a fifth. We did 5 IPOs of digital credit instruments, and that entire market went from nothing to $8 billion in 10 months. And we're pioneering this public digital credit market, but we also saw now an avalanche of conventional banks. We saw guidance, positive guidance from the OCC and the FDIC probably every 2 months for the year, like six salvos. And after the sixth salvo, we started to see the entire dam breaking and the banking industry thaw. And now, off the top of my head, I think we've seen pro-digital assets, pro-crypto, pro-Bitcoin announcements from Citi, Charles Schwab. Both have announced they're going to custody and extend credit on Bitcoin in the coming 6 months. We saw positive announcements from JP Morgan. We saw positive announcements from Bank of America. We saw positive activity from BNY Mellon. We saw, Standard Chartered Bank and PNC Bank both announce agreements with Coinbase, taking advantage of their crypto as a service to custody and handle and trade Bitcoin. I think we saw clear guidance from the OCC that it's okay for banks to handle, hold, and trade and custody crypto assets on the behalf of their customers, right? So 12 months ago, you could barely get a loan against IBIT. and you couldn't get any credit against BTC. At this point in time, I think I can count off the top of my head 8 different banks that are offering credit against IBIT, normally in the range of SOFR plus 50 basis points to SOFR plus 75 basis points. What's the second best? There is no second best.